We're gonna start off with Should I tell you where we start off, or should I just surprise you? I'm gonna surprise you, dog.
No. Bro,
I'm surprising you, dog.
Just throw shit at me.
Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. All right, welcome to another edition of the Time Flies Podcast. I'm your host, Dariel. Thank you for tuning in. And for the listeners and viewers, you're going to hear a familiar voice. You're going to see a familiar face. To the right of me, he has come back.
Yes.
He's come back home.
Yes.
He's come back,
everything
my boy,
in due
Mike.
time, in divine time.
First and foremost, tell everybody listening and watching how long I've been trying to get you on the fucking episode, bro.
Well, just to let everyone know, we're doing a recap of 2022. So it's been a long time. It's been some time.
Boy, it's been a minute. Dog, the last time we saw each other was we recorded that Watch the Throne episode. I posted it.
The last one?
Yeah, I posted it in August, but I think we recorded it in fucking July. So, dog, it's been like a minute.
Holy shit. Yeah, because Push, Kendrick all came before that.
Yeah. So just tell the people what you've been up to. How's everything been?
Yes. I've been hiding out in the dark hole somewhere where no one can find me.
How the girls?
Working. Great, man. Doing good in school. So that's what happens. That's like you become a father, and luckily I have real friends like yourself who understand this.
Yeah.
And understand when, I'm terrible at texting and
boy,
I go 4 months without a podcast. No, it's got to be more. If it was fucking...
No, it's like 6 months, bro. Yo, it's like 6 months, dog.
We back.
No, yeah, like you just said, being a father, so like, I know, and plus the holiday season and all that shit, so I was like, he's definitely, in the middle of it, gifts, family, and all that shit.
All that shit.
That's why
a lot of money being spent.
Yeah, I could imagine. So that's why I gave you some space, but yeah, I mean, obviously we've been in contact since through texting, even though you're a horrible texter. But
for sure.
So I've been trying to get you on for a while, but like we just said, your schedule has been hella busy. So we finally found some time in the schedule. We back. But before we get into the shits, this is a little out of left field. So
I'm with it.
So I wasn't able to see you last month, which obviously January, the turn of a new year.
Yep.
So what I want to start off with is there something that about yourself that you are trying to work on this year? Maybe something you want to get better at. Maybe it's something that you want to maybe tone it down a little bit.
For sure.
So do you have something or?
Well, I mean, off rip, you want to, when you're in my position, you want to continue improving as far as parenthood is concerned. Mm-hmm. I'm actually, now this is funny, something I never really considered, but I want to get into therapy, like real therapy.
Like
just
seeing
because,
a therapist.
Yeah, because my whole thing was, I was always pretty good at articulating myself until it's time for me to express my shit, which I start to stumble because I don't even know how to express myself correctly.
About your shit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So, and not that it's so, crazy, deep, and dark, but I just feel like everyone should, be able to talk to someone in that capacity.
100%.
And I think just the way, at least I was raised, not that it was shunned, but it wasn't like, imagine, my father's like, therapy? When do I go to therapy? But it's not.
No, I feel you, man. Like
just things to look inward that I can improve on. So I guess the obvious answer is, keep progressing as far as parenthood is concerned, as far as being a father. That's first and foremost. But second, also looking inward a little more to see what other areas I might need improvement in. Because I'm not. I think that I'm getting over that boundary with myself, where it's like, I think we all can improve on things, and that includes myself. And so I want to kind of figure out what that's about.
No, 100%. I mean, I'm right with you. I mean, so I actually see a therapist.
So keep that left field shit coming.
So, I mean, you know that because I've told you about me seeing a therapist. And yeah, man, like growing up, mental health wasn't as big as it is now.
Right.
But like everybody could use, I've always thought that everybody could use someone just to talk to. somebody like a third party that has no
A
relation
third party,
to you.
that's it.
No relation to you, no family, no friends, just a completely outsider
Yeah.
that's willing to hear your shit and just give you some feedback.
Navigate.
Navigate you. And man, I do it two times a week. And shout out my therapist. I'm not gonna say your name, but shout out. But yeah, man. No, he's been
patient confidentiality.
Yeah, right. Nah, man. But he's been a really big help, and I'm really glad that I did it, and I'm gonna continue doing it to not leave you hanging. So me personally, stubborn and hard-headed.
Yeah.
Especially with my family, dog.
Yeah. Me. Yeah.
Especially, that's something that I'm really trying to just tone it down, and just be a little bit more open, especially with my family. Like just being a little bit more open as far as like if they're trying to give me advice, I'm usually like I'm not listening to you guys.
Right.
But just being open
more
to
open.
it. Yeah, just being more open.
I think I could agree with that too. I think I need to be a little more open to shit. And I don't even know, like, it's not like I look at anyone's opinion and I'm like, alright, just enough of all. It's just, I don't know why I'm so goddamn stubborn and hard-headed naturally. Like, it'll sink in, like, you have people in your life that you listen to, but at the end of the day, people like us are going to do what we want to do, but I think it's worth noting, like, I think we all should be a little more open-minded, especially when it's coming from a source that genuinely cares about us and may be able to see things from an objective standpoint that we can't see.
When you just say it, it's saying it is a lot easier than than doing.
For sure.
Like just saying it, just being a little more open. It's kind of like okay, I kind of know what that looks like. Lending
It's
ear.
kind of like I'm starting this diet,
right? But then like when you're actually trying to do it, like when you catch yourself like in the actual moment. It happened to me this morning. Like I caught myself in the moment. Somebody was trying to give me some advice about something, and I was like fighting it, and I'm like, I caught myself, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just stop.
but the fact that you're picking up on it is a sign of progress in and of itself, is it not? Like
It is, but the thing is about me, something else that I need to work on is overthinking, and I caught myself because I was overthinking, so it's kind of like fuck, like I'm glad I caught it, but it's like the way I caught it. So it's just, man, we're humans, and every day is an adventure. Every day is a fucking journey, man. Humans are complicated, but all right, man. I'm glad everything's doing good. I'm glad your kids are good. I'm glad you're doing good. We talked offline. You gave me the update. I'm glad everyone's good.
Yes, sir.
Now,
likewise.
Thank you. Now let's get into the fucking shits. So I've been wanting to talk to you for a fucking minute, bro. The title of this episode, we're gonna be talking about albums.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you
Without a dope beat to step two.
See, that's Timberland.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about Rakim.
You got it.
But legends, both legends.
Big facts. So as you can tell by the name of this episode, we're going to be talking about 2022, and we're going to wrap it up with different albums, different artists. But to start off, of course, I had to have the fucking Nas aficionado in the building, baby. Come on, man.
The GOAT. What did Bad Bunny call LeBron? La Cabra.
La Cabra.
Nas is La Cabra.
Honestly, I didn't know. I know he said something, but I kind of like heard him mumble, so I didn't know what he said. But nice, good catch.
Yeah. You know me. I'm
always observant.
Always.
Okay, so King's Disease 3 came out last year, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the better albums of 2022.
For sure.
But what I want to talk about, we didn't talk about the album when it dropped because we just said busy schedule, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But, dude, the fuck is going on with Nas and Hit Boy? Like, this is unprecedented, bro.
It is unprecedented, and I mean, for one, you don't see legends come back and do it to this level, this consistently at this point in their career in hip hop. That is unprecedented. And I'm not just saying that as like the Nas bias guy. Like there's really something going on. And I think that speaks to Hit Boy just as much as it speaks to Nas, because
Hit Boy.
I don't know if Nas would have been able to create this magic this consistently without someone who's just, speaking of open-minded, just open-minded and as creative as Hit Boy. He literally, like, you just get the feeling that he sees an artist, he gets a feel for them, especially with a Nas. A dude like Hit Boy probably grew up, bumping Nas, so he has an idea of Nas in his head, and he knows how to take that picture of Nas that he has in his head, modernize it, because he has that appeal to the younger audience too. And here we are.
Break it down,
These
boy.
three and Magic. This is, I mean, any Nas fan will agree that, especially prior to King's Disease 3, but Magic was like the best Nas album we had heard since
King's Disease 1, 2?
Since Life is Good, really.
Right,
Like,
right,
Life is
right,
Good
right.
was in my eyes at least, the last like unprecedented classic, and then Magic, it was just like some
Really?
2021. Yeah,
We'll talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that it was just it went back, and I think we spoke about it on the last recap because it came out right at the tail end of 2021.
Everybody, go check out that episode. But yeah, we had a little episode talking about Magic. Yeah.
That was like where you're seeing the meeting of Nas at his finest with his pen, and Hit Boy just being able to find a production bed that appealed to the traditionalists and modernizing it, and that Magic was the appropriate fucking name for that.
But Nas sounds so fucking clean on all these albums, bro.
You know,
clean.
But there's another piece to that.
In shape.
I think it's because he doesn't need rap. He's doing this because for the love of the music, he's doing what.
Yeah.
If you hear the shit he's talking about on King's Disease 3, it's just some OG shit.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of it.
If his life depended on this shit, like a lot of artists, they have to do shit that might be uncomfortable for them. They might have to experiment with different producers, different sounds. Nas is like, yo, I know this guy here knows what the fuck he's doing. Me and him, we're in LA chilling. We're gonna lock in. And they fucking locked in.
Bro.
And this is a run that, like, I wish we would see out of more of our legends. Like, I want to see...
Jay!
Well, yeah. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but...
No, I don't think so either.
I want to see, like, a Ghostface Mad Lib run. There's certain shit that you want to see.
Oh, so you want to see, like, the artists...
I want to see these artists
with one producer.
We know... We know that artists like Nas and Ghostface, or some of the legends, are natural-born creatives. And in hip-hop, you get aged out, and they have no appreciation for you after a certain point. That doesn't mean that they're not capable of still rapping their ass off, still making great music. And tell me not, whenever you hear a Ghostface verse, whether it's on a Kanye project, whether it's on that West Side Gun, whether it's on the Kendrick project, he's still, like... Yeah. He's still going. He's still doing what Ghost does.
Yeah,
and
I get what you're saying.
That's what I mean. So I think that these legends still have more in the tank as long as they're inspired. But it's a matter of if we'll get the chance to hear it. In this case specifically, we've gotten blessed, and it kind of came out of left field, but I'm happy the fuck it did, man.
It came out of left field, but the thing is that, like, after King's Disease 1, it's like, oh wow, Nas sounds very refreshed. He sounds very motivated.
Right.
He sounds very inspired. And then, boom, another one on your head top, King's Disease 2, and then it's like
It got better.
Yes. We'll talk about it. But
yeah.
After King's Disease 2, everyone's like, okay, second project.
Something's
in what, like,
happening
less
here.
than 3 months?
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Then
Then
he hadn't put out a project in years. Prior to King's Disease.
Oh,
he hadn't put out a
yeah.
project.
And then, after King's Disease 2, then he drops Magic in December, I believe. And everyone was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then this shit, like I said, it's unprecedented. And he's showing how to fucking age gracefully in fucking hip-hop, bro.
Facts.
A lot of these legends out here, they need to be I want them to be doing what Nas is doing, but at the same time, I know that this is if they're capable, and this is kind of like a lightning in a bottle situation with Nas and Hit Boy. Like, they found chemistry and they fucking freaked it, bro.
They sure
And they're still milking it. Like, I think, would you be mad with another King's Disease?
Absolutely not. I just don't know if they're gonna name it King's Disease. I think they're gonna leave it at the trilogy, but
And start like another album title?
if they got the chemistry, man, keep it going. And look, I'm happy it's happening, and it just so happens that it's happening with the guy who anyone who knows me, including yourself, knows that I've abided by this whole.
You're the Nas aficionado, bro. Like, I had to start off with this topic because, like, I know you had. I had to, but okay. So as far as the album itself, I want to talk about some of the highlights. I got the track list right here for you, my boy.
Yeah.
I think
I don't even know where to fucking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can start anywhere, but where I want to start is what I think everyone immediately gravitated towards when Nas on Thun Sometimes I text Hov like, nigga, this ain't over. What?
But bro, okay.
What?
So before we
The
even,
beef is still alive?
before we even got to that point, when I heard that beat, I was like,
Thun?
yeah.
Okay.
And the name. If anyone knows, Thun was the Queensbridge slang popularized by Nas, Mobb Deep. When you hear that and then you hear the strings that you're hearing on Thun and the way it knocks and him talking about it in the expedition. My God. And not to mention the whole bar. Like, he just...
That whole...
It's funny, though, because... But this is the Nas... And I've said this so many times on this platform. Like, this is the Nas we've been waiting for, though. That you know that there's so much that goes on in this guy's head. And he's comfortable enough where he's just letting it all out. I'm sure he's had the thought to, like, mention the whole thing with HOV.
Mm-hmm.
He's never done that prior to this point. And now he's making a joke of it. Yeah. You know, and talking about, I text him like, this ain't over. Like, that's fire.
That's so fire,
for people like us, like of our generation, that is fire to hear, bro.
Yeah, because obviously they've grown up and they moved on to like a lot of like bigger things, entrepreneurship and all that. But just by that one line, now the fans of hip hop is like, okay, it's still there. Like there's still a little
competitive edge because but that's that generation. That's what made that generation great. That shit doesn't go away. There's dudes who retired from NFL, NBA. They're still competitive long after that. That's why they do dumb shit like, you know, get involved in whatever like. So
yeah, they just can't physically.
They just can't. They gamble. They do crazy shit. So it's there, but that was fucking absolute fire.
That line is so amazing, bro. I mean, I have. Again, please stop me whenever you can, whenever you want. But just moments off this album, Michael and Quincy. First of all, the title alone. First of
all, how about
go ahead, hit me.
The end of the song when he's hitting the Annie, are you okay? The beats, bro.
And when he's rapping, like he's giving these Smooth Criminal, he's giving these Dirty Dianas, he's giving you the Thrillers.
He's Nas and he's sprinkling all the references. He's been waiting to make this record. He just needed the right beat for it. Like he's had this in his head. And as far as we're concerned, in that moment when you're listening to that, it might as well be Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. Because goddamn,
it's not the second half of the track; it's towards the end of the track. There's like a beat switch. I don't know if that's like the new thing in hip hop, but. And then I think on this album especially, like Hit Boy and Nas, they did it a little bit more than usual. And just like
with it.
100%. At the end of this track, just a beat switch was like, yeah, I'm with it. Like I'm here for it. I don't care.
Absolutely.
This whole album is just so clean, bro. All the albums are clean, but
fucking clean.
I mean, yeah. So we have the track list right here behind me, behind us. Those are the two songs that like
Reminisce with the Mary J sample. Are you kidding me?
Thank you very much, my guy. That's why I got you here. Thank you for pointing it out.
Come
of course,
on.
that shit is crazy. The Reminisce.
And who didn't love like? If you just love R&B and you did your homework, even if you're not of the age, like myself, it's not like It's not like I was listening to Mary J's first album in real time. I was fucking 4 years old, 5 years old. Yeah. But when you go back, like, who doesn't love that opening segment of Reminisce when she's just letting it fly before the beat kicks in? And that's what they choose to flip? Like, are you fucking joking?
Was Reminisce on My Life or was it on What's the 411?
Reminisce was on What's the 411.
Debut. Real quick.
And Nas and Mary, they got that history there. My guy Nas, that's another thing. Everyone talks about the snipers of today, right? Because social media, it exposes it. You got the Drake, you got the French. You got guys who are putting in work. They might not be so out in the open.
Yeah.
That's the original guy. The
only
rapper that Sade dated. That man right there. Who else is Sade in the hip hop community giving time to?
The fucking goddess.
Come on.
The goddess. Another track that I love is I'm on fire. Oh, yeah. Talking his shit. Just like, yo, I know I'm the shit right now. Like, I know y'all talking about me. I know y'all not expecting this from me. And I'm coming through in the clutch.
Oh yeah.
I'm on fire, bro. And the beat is fire, the beat is smooth.
Simple and it's just like
I'm on fire.
That's when like those minimalist beats is when you get Nas opening up, and who has a better pen than Nas?
Right.
Oh, in my opinion.
I mean,
once a man, twice a child. Not to rush the sequence, but
it's all good. It's all good. I'm not gonna lie. Once a man, twice a child. Like, it's cool, but I'm not going to it.
So cool.
You with it?
Yeah, love it.
Oh, first time?
Yeah.
Talking about listening to Kendrick, NWA. Love it. Don't Shoot, the last song talking about, you know, if there's no more violence against black people. That's a
That's a
important
very
topic.
Nas like way to out his album. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, so now what I want to do, like I said a little earlier, I said Nas is showing these guys how to age gracefully.
Yeah.
Two rappers that I've been thinking about while listening to these albums to prepare for the pod. One is Jay. Jay, he's not gonna do this album after album after album, but Jay's dropping. He dropped 444. What, back in like 2014?
2017.
Wow. Okay, I was way early. Yeah, 2017, and we haven't heard it. We haven't heard an album since.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, like, I still see stuff on the internet. And it's like Jay's the best rapper right now. I'm like, how is he the best rapper right now if he doesn't have material, bro?
You know what the thing is, and I mean, people are gonna run with what they run with. Jay
But
has,
that's logical. This is facts. You need material in order to be considered.
Okay, but they could also make the argument. It's not my argument, but they could also make the argument. Whenever the man chooses to drop a verse, it's culture shifting.
No, 100%.
You know, so whether it's you know, the shit with Meek, what's free verse, whether it's the
Yeah, but those are verses, bro. Those are verses.
Right, but
Nas
if
is dropping projects,
yeah, and
dog.
I mean, this is the thing. It's like artist versus rapper, and if you're talking about just rapping ability, of course Jay's always gonna have it. Jay's always gonna have it. Yeah, if you're talking, in my opinion, I mean, Nas takes the cake. He's putting out projects of work that are just.
The reason why I bring it up is because out of the 6 months that we didn't see each other, I think Complex has a show called Brackets with Brian B. Miller.
Yes.
You know that show?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think one of the topics one day was like, who's the best rapper right now? And I'm pretty sure the answer was JayZ. The winner was JayZ. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, dog. And it was because of the God Did verse, which we might be talking about next.
Yeah.
But it was because of the God Did verse. That verse is great. Come on, you can't be the best rapper right now off a verse, dog. And when Nas is dropping 4 fucking projects, though, that shit got me so tight. And it goes into this whole Nas always being overlooked. And then when he's compared to Jay, it's just like, I'm a little upset at myself because I remember in high school, like, I was the Jay guy and you were the Nas guy. You were always trying to put me on.
Yeah.
And then it just later on, then I started listening to Nas and then I started appreciating him a lot more. But that's always going to be Nas. He's always going to be overlooked, bro.
The thing is with, and I'm not saying this from like, you know, an arrogant standpoint, but in order to appreciate Nas the right way, your palate has to be more developed in hip hop. Because Nas is gonna do things. He's gonna talk about shit. He's gonna go different places with his music. That, you know, it's not, you know, for the majority of people in high school, and they're not gonna be receptive towards it.
Oh, okay.
Jay always knew, I guess, or had a sensibility as to how to keep up with the time and appeal to younger generations, whether it was, you know, collaborating with certain producers, content matter. He knew what he was doing, where I feel like Nas is the truer artist in that regard, where he didn't give a fuck and he kind of just did what he wanted to do.
So yeah, he wasn't trying to appeal to the masses. I feel what you're saying. Man.
I love Jay though too. Jay is in there in my top 5.
Ever?
Nas is a little higher.
I don't know if I ever told you, but fucking Hit Boy on Twitter liked a tweet that I did. I forgot what I did. I think I posted something about their studio session, and I said like, this is after this album dropped. I said this is literally the Nas and Hit Boy era. Hit Boy liked it and he retweeted it. So Hit Boy,
fire,
my guy, I appreciate you. We love what you're doing with Nas. In general, just keep going.
Anything, honestly, I'm at the point though, and it's been like this for a minute. Whenever I see Hit Boy is producing something, I'm gonna check it out. Even if it's 100%. An artist I don't necessarily, you know, mess with like that, I trust Hit Boy's quality that much that if I see whether it's a song, a project, I'm gonna check for Hit Boy. I think he's fucking fire.
What I was gonna say is that he made one of the best hip hop songs of all time with Paris.
Yeah.
But like, that was when he was young.
Yeah.
Like, kind of just in the game. And, like, based off what he's been doing just alone on the last 3 years, like, what else is he gonna do, bro?
But the thing is,
and Paris was a fucking masterpiece, dog.
That was only one chamber that he had. One chamber was the biggest song on earth.
It's crazy. Just like, he was, like, just literally he was just tapping into what he could really do, you know what I'm saying? And now, like, it's gonna be crazy, man. Okay, where I'm gonna go is, we gotta do the ranking of the Hit Boy era.
Oh, of the Hit Boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
of the Hit Boy Nas era. We're ranking King Disease
okay.
1 through 3 and Magic. Where does everyone lie?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll break the ice. So I know King's Disease 1 is the best for me. Is their best album for me. Okay. King Disease 1, when that shit dropped, bro, it stopped me in my fucking tracks. Just how clean, how inspired, how in shape Nas was sounding, and again, it felt modern, and it didn't feel like he was trying hard. It felt like he just wanted to do it, and he just showing them like, yo, I can still do this. He connects with Hit Boy, and he drops, in my opinion, a classic. I think King's Disease is a classic. That's just me. But and then on top of that, he has songs with Charlie Wilson, Cardi 5. Cardi 5 is like a beautiful summertime song, and it dropped in August, I believe.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in LA and I was like taking a bus at the time, and dog, like I was just bopping to that album the whole time, and it was in the summer, and it just felt good. And then my favorite song out of all the tracks, bro, is fucking "Replace Me" with Don Toliver.
Yeah.
Dog, and Big Sean,
record.
bro, that's just. Donnie could do no fucking wrong, bro. I love his fucking features, the way he adds like melodies to the tracks.
No, Don Toliver was a talented.
That was just like a very cohesive mesh between all three of them. But I know that's my number one. Go ahead, bro.
I feel like the King's Disease saga went in the exact order of its progression.
Really?
So I feel like King's Disease 1, a very good album. You could still tell there were more Hit Boy elements, more Nas elements on this track, more Hit Boy here, more like the Don Toliver feature. Like you could tell that it was, Hit Boy was kind of pulling the strings on that one, throwing Big Sean on there too.
It's kind of hard to replace me.
And then you get your Nas records.
So you got King's Disease 1 as their best album?
No. So it goes in the natural progression.
I just started with my number one because I just started with number one. You can start however you want to start.
So I'll give you my synopsis. So King's Disease 1
is at the bottom.
Then King's Disease 2, because now you're starting to see the integration of both the artistries, and now it's like it's becoming a thing. It's like, oh no, there's something going on here, and now they're getting more comfortable with each other, and you're starting to hear it in the music.
Of course, I understand.
I struggle though with King's Disease 3 and Magic, because I still like. There's just something that stuck with me from the second I heard the first track on Magic. It was sincere. It was just as soon as I heard that shit, he was just.
That beat is insane, dog.
It was like a flashback to It Was Written Nas. Like, and when I heard that, and that's the demeanor that album kept the entire time, I was like, I don't know. You know what? I'm just fuck it.
Magic number one?
Magic number one.
Though, my knock on Magic is only 9 tracks, bro. It's only fucking 9 tracks. It's the shortest album.
Illmatic too.
But, okay, no, we can't compare it to Illmatic, bro. Illmatic is one of the pillars of hip-hop, dog.
That was only 9 tracks if you take away the intro.
I'm with you, but every one of those 9 tracks is almost basically a fucking classic, bro. You can't say that about Magic, dog.
It's kind of debatable, but...
That's okay. I'm actually there with you. That's one song.
Can we pull up the track list for Magic? No?
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
Let's pull up the track list for Magic. We're gonna go through it.
Speechless, bro?
Speechless.
When the... Oh, no. Stop. Do you remember... I posted something because when we dropped the first Nas and Hit Boy episode like a year ago or whatever, I posted something on Instagram and it was Nas's reaction in the studio listening to this beat for the very first time. Yep. Bro, he literally like got up out of his seat, dog. He got up out of his seat. He was like, "Yo, what are you?"
It gives me chills, like even just hearing it right now.
All right, so let's go.
Where does, in your opinion, where does this go wrong? Like
first 3, insane. First 3, insane. Meet Joe Black, ugly.
Is ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's fucking filthy. There were other words that aren't so politically correct.
4016 building. It's a little bit of a dud for me.
Every album has songs that are lesser, even the best albums. I do agree that that's a song that is lesser, but I don't think that takes away from this album on a whole.
Woo for the Children, I get it, it's cool, but like I'm okay. Wave Gods, you know how I feel about the A$AP Rocky Nas connection. Like I don't need to hear this, dog.
No, but I liked it.
It's not a bad track.
Premier Scratches, I liked it. Rocky did his thing.
It's not a bad track, but I'm just not looking for it. Like I'm not mad at it. So
we're kind of on the same page as far as 4016 being on the lesser end, but aside from that, there's not a weak link.
See, the thing is that 4016, I'm a little like, Woo for the Children, Wave Gods, out of 9 tracks, that's what I'm saying. I got 3. For me, Woo for the Children, not as much as a dud, but just for now, if you want to classify it as a dud, you know what I'm saying? 4016, Woo for the Children, and Wave Gods, duds, out of 9 tracks. So I'm down to 6 songs that I like. And you were saying it's like kind
6
of like...
6 out of 9 is like what is it, like an 85% shooter?
Yeah.
Math was not my best subject, but
no, you probably...
it's still a good...
No, it is.
Good shooting percentage, but did you love everything on this album? Did you?
Yo, pretty much, dog.
I
pretty much. I literally... There's not one bad song to me.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now. I like the kind of left field collaborations, and I feel like I'm not going to stay too long on this because we're doing the Nas and Hit Boy podcast all over again, but... The full circle,
hey boy, what up, boy?
For some, like, I don't know, man.
Yo, what is up with you on that track, bro? It's a reunion, dog.
But it's a reunion, exactly.
I know
and you know, AZ went crazy, but that was not the proper reunion in my opinion.
Why?
The content matter, the beat, like the firm reunion on the Thun beat. Fire, because they're all gonna go crazy, and they're all gonna just talk about shit like it's 1997. That shit. It was a great beat, but it brought something else out of them that we don't need to hear on a firm reunion. They're talking about like relationships and shit. AZ went nuts. AZ is another guy that and I've talked about countless amounts of times here, but he's someone that never really got his due respect. But he's also a guy who's aged gracefully on the super low in hip hop. Yeah. Because anything that he puts out to this day is still quality. Yeah, it's still fire.
And it's definitely still respected. You know. Yeah, so okay, so your ranking is literally King's Disease 1 is the 4th best album, King's Disease 2 3rd best, King's Disease 3 2nd best, and fucking Magic number 1.
Yeah, Magic and King's Disease 3 are like 1 and 1A, but if I had to edge it to, it would be to Magic.
You know what's crazy? So again, I was listening to these albums in preparation for the pod. Magic grew on me because when we did that Nas and Hit Boy album, Magic was at the bottom for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Magic grew on me. My ranking, okay, so I'm no question I have King's Disease 1, number 1. And honestly, it's hard, bro. Between 3, King's Disease 2, and Magic, dog. I have a really hard time. King's Disease 2, let's take a look. I got the track list right behind us. The pressure is stupid.
No, the pressure is stupid.
It's insane. Store Run is fire. Moments is fire. Nobody's a moment because Lauryn Hill's rapping.
Yeah, that's all this thing. I didn't go back to this album in anticipation for the pod. Yeah. But God, fucking Lauryn Hill was rapping.
Charlie Wilson sounds immaculate in every song he does. Brunch on Sundays is a beautiful song. Count Me In. Kind of forgot how that sounds like. Let me listen. Smooth.
Nas is good. The outro for me, that was like.
Dude, okay, that's what I'm saying. Count Me In, Composure. I think My Bible. I think that's a little bit of a. Yeah.
Definitely did not want to hear Eminem on this album. But.
Oh, I was gonna get into that. Dog, the only 40 side.
Yeah.
40 side.
Rare. Kidding me?
But okay, YKTV, Ace, A Boogie with the Hoodie and YG. I'm good. I don't need to hear that.
Yeah, me neither.
I just didn't need to hear that. And then after that, Store Run, pretty much all the way down, is fucking...
Store Run was, I think, widely renowned as, like, the moment on this album.
So, dog, I have a hard time, bro. And King's Disease 2 is one that grew on me, too, bro. Magic and King's Disease 2 grew on me listening to these albums, dog.
Yeah.
Okay, you did mention something that I gotta talk about. Mr. Lyrical, Miracle, Hysterical, I want some cereal.
And I mean, another thing that I've touched on this podcast before is like if you listen to that EPMD verse from a technical standpoint, you can tell that
I'm not putting it on, by the way.
No, thank God. That he's a scientist with the way he studies the production and raps over the. But I don't want to hear that
Me
shit.
neither.
I just don't. I didn't want to hear it then, especially next to someone like Nas, who kind of just glides over and floats over a beat. I don't want to hear someone who's like matching the hi-hats with their silhouette. Like, it's so precise that it just doesn't work for me. It's
What can he do? Because I'm with you. I don't want to hear you anymore, bro.
But the thing is that what I've
That's
moved
hate.
on, but what I've moved on from is that you're either gonna love Eminem or you're not gonna love Eminem. Like, so for the people that have loved Eminem always, they hear shit and they're like, I mean, there are some Eminem fans I know that kind of like dwindled off, but for the most part, they'll ride with anything M does. They'll still love the verse because he's, in their eyes, there's nothing Eminem could do that will make me like, oh, I fuck with this. Because I can't get with it. I don't know what it is.
As far as rapping skills, technical rapping skills,
Yeah.
we know that he's one of the best.
course.
He's one of the best. But why is that not translating? Is it the way he's using it? Like, obviously, we just did a lyrical miracle.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to hear you every song doing that.
For one, the music isn't good anymore. The music isn't good. What he's rapping about is content matter. Nobody really wants to hear it. Like, he's either, he's going into fantasy land and he tries to dip back into, like, the 1998 bag of, like, Rihanna with a katana, and it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want to hear it, but like I said, Eminem is not rapping for people like me who want to hear what I want to hear. He's rapping for his core fan base, which is the largest of probably any rapper in the world. So, respect to him, not for me. There's nothing he could do.
I want to say that he gets hate. Right now, I'm the perfect example. Like, I'm hating. But why? He's one of the pillars of rap, of hip-hop, dog.
I mean,
This is what I'm saying.
We can take that from a lot of angles, though. I mean, the obvious standpoint is he's the great white hope. He's the Elvis Presley of hip-hop to some. That's not something I subscribe to. I think that Eminem is a dude who really loves this shit.
Oh, yeah,
Studied
100%.
all of it.
Yeah.
He's not someone who came in here like a fucking vulture. He
Controversial,
really
yeah,
lived
yeah.
this shit.
Right.
And he loved it. And,
Yeah.
so that's not something I subscribe to, but I think that that's a source of a lot of the hate. But I also think it comes down to, like, relatability for a lot of people. The shit that he's rapped about, even from Jump, like killing his mother, and, different, I guess, more mental health based stuff at the time that he came out. People weren't really fucking with it like that. When you listen to music, and you know me, like, I love a good pen as much as anyone else, but it has to also be enjoyable to listen to. I'm not just going to
100%.
listen to, fucking someone go off lyrically all day. Like, I feel like when he goes in the studio, his primary thing is, I'm about to rap my ass off with no real consideration for the music in and of itself. I think he's just doing this almost, to keep flexing that muscle, which is cool for him, like, but it's not appealing to most, in my opinion, outside of his base. It's just, so I think that's it. I think,
It's just
he's a little out of touch. This guy, you don't see him anywhere.
No, yeah, really, literally.
He's never anywhere, and
It's just again, like I keep saying, he's one of the pillars in hip hop. Like, we know his rapping technical skills, but like it's just not translating. And my friends have told me that, like, I'm hating, and I don't think I'm hating because I know that you see it in the same light as me. But we're just coming from a standpoint of, like, we just want to hear what we think should be, like, aiding hip hop and, like, like uplifting it and, like, like inspiring hip hop. And it's just like, we know you can rap your ass off already. Like, we don't need to hear that anymore. We want you to just, like, reinvent yourself. I don't know what that looks like, but reinvent
but some
yourself.
people, like, some people have reached their apex, and there is no reinvention after that point. That's the reality also. And I know that there's someone with a pack of Newports, a dirty wife beater, and a Monster Energy drink that might be listening to this
In South Dakota?
somewhere, and they are cursing our name. And they'll kill over Eminem. He might as well be Jesus Christ. So
Definitely don't want that, but if you listen to this episode, we appreciate you. Hit that like button, rate and review the podcast. Okay, so I never officially gave you my ranking of the Nas and Hippo era. So let me not leave you hanging. So again, King's Disease 1, undeniable for me, their best album. Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know, bro. I want to put Magic last because of the fucking track list and me not liking 3 songs. But then when you just put it like it's still like 85%, now I'm like kind of fucked up. Dude, I think I'm gonna have to put King's Disease 2 right behind King's Disease 1. I'm confident with that. And that's crazy because King's Disease 2 in the past, I didn't like it as much. And this shit just grew on me, bro.
Yeah.
Again, now Magic and King's Disease 3, that's where I'm having a hard time.
At the other end of the...
Right, yeah, the second half of the... Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Magic number 3. And King's Disease 3 number 4.
Interesting.
But
that's the thing is like, all 4 of these albums are ridiculous and you just have to rank them. Like, you know, the way we just spoke about King's Disease 3, and it's number 4 on your list, but it just speaks to like the quality of this saga. So,
bro, yo, this is, and I'm not saying this is the end of an era, because no, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be dropping more stuff. Like you said, it's probably not gonna be called King's Disease 4, but they're gonna drop some project kind of going along the same route as calling it Magic, you know, like a different name.
it's just, yeah, people haven't seen this in hip hop, man. Like,
never.
That's the thing is, you know, you're used to rock groups of like our parents' generation. You know, they may have done their thing in the early 70s and then resurfaced in the late 80s or even the early 90s with a quality project. But you don't really see that in hip hop, man, where it's widely celebrated outside. Like this King's Disease saga, it explores more than just the underground. There are people
100%.
on mainstream levels that really fuck with this album. And that's what I mean. It's like, we haven't seen that in hip-hop, and nonetheless with an entire saga, not just one album. So,
yeah, 100%.
Man, this is...
I want to move on to another topic that I've been wanting to talk to you about since it happened. So now that I finally have you here, we're going to get right to it. We're going to talk about the whole verse on... God, dude! You might have heard of DJ Khaled's manager. His name is JayZ. DJ Khaled's fucking annoying, but he's a marketing genius.
Yeah,
all right, man.
For sure.
HOV did.
And he's another one. He's a real DJ too. He doesn't just use that without. He's a legitimate DJ. No Serato. This dude cuts his shit.
Digging through the crates and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So DJ Khaled dropped an album. God did back in the summer. The second track off the album was one of, if not the highlight of 2022. His song is called God Did. Rick Ross is on it, Lil Wayne's on it, and JayZ has the last verse. JayZ's rapping for what, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that?
No, I think it was like 4 minutes.
No, I know for a fact it's more than 5. I'm telling you, dog. Again, Jay pops up when he wants to pop up, and he doesn't pop up often. So when you see JayZ on a track list, you're gonna go. Yeah. And then on top of that, I almost forgot. Guru, like a couple of nights before, he tweeted something out saying that this is the best JayZ verse of all time. He said that.
And when you hear that from Guru, you gotta respect it because that's a qualified opinion.
Right. So before we get into the Jay verse and your opinion of it and where it ranks, whatever, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about how Wayne.
Yeah.
If he had a little bit more time, bro. If he had, because he only had like a short amount of time. I don't know if he knew that JayZ was gonna do what he did.
I don't think so. If that whole verse comes in first,
yo, Wayne was going stupid, bro.
I think we have a different conversation. Not to say that Jay wouldn't have had the best verse, but I think Wayne would have put a few extra bars on it.
Wayne with the amount of time that he had, he was just going crazy, dog. And like, as soon as it stopped. The first time I heard it, I stopped it right after Wayne's verse because that shit took me aback, bro. Just his flow and like his metaphors and all that shit. And again, the short amount of time that he had, he just fucking freaked it, bro. Yeah. So then I stopped it and then I like prepared myself to see what the fuck this Jay verse is about. And then Jay starts talking about how many billionaires come from HOV crib. I count 3, me, yeah, and Ree.
Yeah.
Bron's a rock boy, so 4 technically.
Yeah. Nah, he was going crazy. I mean, so when you get a Jay feature on like a Pusha album, you know Jay's gonna come out. He's gonna talk the shit for the Pusha crowd. But when he gets on the larger scales, like a DJ Khaled album or even the Meek album, which appeals to more, he talks, and he talks about shit that everyone kind of needs to hear. And I respect it from a technical standpoint, from the content standpoint. And I mean, like, what we were speaking about earlier, Jay's always going to be able to rap.
After the album dropped, and after this song made a lot of noise, the talk of the internet and the talk of hip hop was, where does this verse rank in Jay's discography?
You fucking internet people are so goddamn annoying. Like, can we just enjoy something without?
Okay, bro, I'm gonna give you the red carpet, bro, because I've been wanting to hear what the fuck you have to say about this verse. Where are you ranking it? What other verses you have in front of it? So, dude, you got the mic. Go ahead, bro.
So here's the thing with me, man. Like, I am a student of this shit. I love Jay. Do I believe that this is an amazing verse? Of course.
I'm with you.
Are there verses that I like better, just from a technical standpoint, or from, for me, like a more memorable standpoint, where like I could think of, you know, off the top of my head, the first verse on Dead Presidents 2, when he's talking about on the high block, my man, he got his side. Like, those moments, like, that shit will always appeal to me more.
Dead Presidents 2, the whole fucking track,
yeah,
dog.
this is where, like, and this is where Jay is now, so it's a timepiece for where he's at now, and I appreciate it. But there's just something more appealing about that Dead Presidents, you know, that era. And I actually have notes.
There you go, my boy did his fucking homework.
These are the verses that I feel are better than.
Let's go.
So obviously, I already named the Dead Presidents.
Presidents
Part 2, because for those who don't know, something that was going on in the mid to late '90s is that, you know, artists would have part 1 and part 2 of the same, like, the same beat, same rapper, but they would just redo the verses for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. But so Jay has Dead Presidents 1, which came out prior to Reasonable Doubt, where it's 3 different verses. Those are all fire as well. But the first verse on Dead Presidents Part 2.
So these are your favorite verses?
These are my favorite verses that, in my opinion,
are better than this verse, than God did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm also a Can I Live guy. The first verse on Can I Live, my mind is infested with sick thoughts that, like, if driven, come on. That's just like rap.
There's one, I'm waiting to hear one. I have a song in my mind that I'm wondering if you're going to say. My bad. My bad.
And the Dynasty intro, to me, I mean, that's monumental. I think that, like, for people of our age, the Dynasty intro, we were still young, but old enough where that hit almost like the way Meek's intro hit for the group of kids that came after us. You know what I mean? Like, because that was, whenever you talk about intros, it set a bar for intros after that point. The Diamonds verse, remix verse, rather.
Right. Diamonds are forever. Okay.
Devil is Alive verse. Like, we're even talking, like, there's just, and I could go on all day just because of my standpoint of Jay. The God Did verse, amazing verse. There's just verses that speak to me more.
So
but I can understand it from someone who may not be as familiar, or they don't have the same relationship to the catalog that I do. That you hear that and you're like, you know, this is fucking crazy, and it is crazy. But
it's a great verse.
Just sit there.
It's a great verse, and then again, when the song dropped, we haven't heard from Jay for a while. He's rapping for more than 5 minutes. It's like all these other things that are like aiding in that. What happened?
What about the Grammy
freestyle? Hot 97? Yeah, that shit's crazy.
That in and of itself.
The Evils.
I had the Evils on there, but I didn't want to read it down on. But
nah, bro,
second verse of the Evils was on that list also.
Stupid. Yo, dog, list them off. List them off real quick. I want to hear the track.
So for the listeners, just to reiterate,
listeners and viewers, look what we do for you, boy.
First verse of Dead Presidents, first verse of Can I Live, the Dynasty intro, the Evils second verse, first verse You Must Love Me, Come and Get Me, first verse, Ain't No Love, first verse, Diamond Remix verse, December 4th, first verse, Lost Ones, first verse, the What's Free verse, and the Devil Is Alive verse. Off the top of my head, that's just kind of what I rattled off as like verses that hit me when I first heard them a little bit more than the God Did.
Respectable list, my boy. Respectable list. That's why I got you on the fucking pod. What about I don't know if you remember the lyrics like top of your head, but the Three Kings, Dre, Ross, and Jay. Remember or not really?
Nah, I'll be 100% honest.
Me neither.
It didn't hit me like that.
It was a moment though.
It was a moment because you have Dr. Dre, Ross, and Jay on the same track. Understandable, but it didn't hit it. I mean, in the same vein of to round back to the Firm reunion, you see Dr. Dre, Jay on the track, and you want to hear something. It just didn't.
With that track? Like, what were you expecting?
I couldn't even tell you what I was expecting. I could only tell you that that's not what I was expecting. It just didn't take for me. I know, and it definitely was a moment.
Yeah.
And that was on the same album where you had that 3 Stacks verse too, wasn't it? Was it not?
Pretty sure. Yeah, I forgot the name of the track though.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Rick Ross definitely got a banger under his belt. So, okay, man. So I finally got you to talk about the fucking HOV, dude.
Yeah.
Verse.
Because I don't operate from the standpoint where I'm saying like, there's so many verses better to like hate. It's just, in my opinion, I think it's more so my distaste for like just people following trends on the internet. I think a lot of people just said, yeah, this is HOV's best verse. Okay, can you recite any HOV verse prior to 2005?
Going back and forth on the freeway took a toll on him.
It's
nice.
Yeah, no, it's fun, but it definitely deserved to be the talk because you have once again a legend in the game doing something that one thing that separates God did from any of the verses I listed was that there's no hook. There's no.
Yeah.
He's going.
Good point.
You don't get HOV like that unless you get the Flex freestyle with the Grammy family, like where he's just going. He's just rapping. Yeah. That's a dangerous man to just let rap without a fucking hook. I don't even know how many bars he put on that, but
it was a lot.
Because I don't even remember the amount of time he was rapping clearly, but that deserved to be the talk. I just wish that people would do their homework before they're just like, yeah, this is Jay's best verse. Okay, yeah, but you don't know shit.
Yo, the reason why I know it's more than 6 minutes is because first time listening to the whole song and Jay starts, listen to the verse, and like, oh shit, that line was hot. That line was fire. I look up at the screen, 4 minutes left. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, 4 minutes left? I'm like, this guy's gonna be rapping for 4 minutes? I'm like, nah, dude, this is gonna be like DJ Khaled's gonna be talking, right? Yeah. No, it's him rapping for like 4 minutes. That's why I remember how long it was. Yo, are you looking for another HOV album?
I'll always look for another HOV album. I'm not like expecting it, but HOV albums weren't really hitting like that, but the 444 album, in my opinion, was fucking ridiculous.
It was amazing.
But I'm always looking for the legends to come back. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm never discounting them. I mean, clearly you can't discount these guys. This is different. I wish that Khaled, and I know we spoke to Wayne's verse, Ross is a writer too, but I wish Khaled would have just let HOV go ISO.
Oh, thank you. You brought up a thought that I had that I want to talk to you about. No, if you want to build on that.
No, I just feel like this is monumental enough. And I get the moment. You have the Wayne, you have Ross, you have Jay all on the same track on introing Cal, right? It was the intro to the album, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the second track. The first track was like Drake talking.
Right, yeah. It was just Drake. All right, so this was the first actual track. And I feel like, imagine if this comes on, you have Cal doing his little ad-libs, and then it's just Jay with no hook, rapping for fucking 5 to 6 minutes. And he's keeping, that's the other thing. He keeps everyone engaged. That is not easy to do over that amount of time. You know how many times Joe Budden, The Game, these guys have rapped this amount of bars? And it's hard to keep people engaged to that point. Like, this dude is doing it. And to people who, in this day and age, have the attention span of a fucking fly.
First of all, Khaled is a marketing genius because he said he had 2 Drake songs, but the first song was literally just Drake talking, so whatever, it's not really a song. Second is, I want to piggyback off of what you're saying. You said that you wanted HOV just right out the track, right? ISO, just clear out. I remember thinking this song had the feeling of just like a fucking moment in the culture. What I think I would have wanted Khaled to do, I wanted Khaled to get everybody. And I wanted everybody to, because if they hear Jay's verse,
you want him to do the One Blood remix?
Facts. If everyone he gets, Ye, Drake, he got Wayne already, Ross, help me out. I can't think of right now of rappers.
What class are we talking?
Just like the Meek Mill, I don't know if the Pillars, but
like the guys that the Coles, the
Kendrick Cole,
like
thank you, yes, Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Like I think this track had that amount of momentum. It had that amount. I think it could hold it. It could hold Khaled going to all those artists and being like, "Yo, you heard what Jay did? I want you on the song." And then they're gonna listen to that verse and be like, "Oh, I gotta come with it." A fucking 15-minute track with all those artists.
But
that shit would be stupid,
that's the
bro.
issue, though, is that a lot of them are competitive enough that they're going to try to keep up, and it's just going to become boring after that point. Because then you're going to have, no shot to Big Sean, you're going to have Big Sean with a bunch of IG captions in his bars for like 4 minutes.
Come on, man. Don't do that to my man Sean, man.
And I have garnered a great deal of respect, and honestly, I do enjoy Big Sean's music, but that is one gripe I have. And
I've heard about
I don't know. I think the less the merrier in a situation like
I can see it from that standpoint too. But yeah, I think Khaled is one of the people that can actually do that because he has like all the studio.
I think he
backing
could.
and all that
I think
shit.
he could grab the people that you wanted to hear with Jay on this track and have them on there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that happens in the next album. I don't know. I'm probably not. But hopefully one day. Khaled is Khaled. You know. Recently his albums haven't been hitting. Prior to God Did, honestly, because he's just getting everyone together and he's just throwing it together like a fucking ensemble movie cast.
This is the thing, right? And this is what I was actually just gonna bring up. Can you name a classic Khaled album?
No.
No. Can you name a bad Khaled album?
No. I think I can if I like think about it.
Like a bad album. This is just trash all the way through.
Probably not.
That's never gonna happen because that's what Khaled does. It's never gonna be what you think it could be.
He has some albums though that we know that he didn't really try.
Yeah, of course. But you still had songs that rang through that year or songs that you personally enjoyed.
Yeah, I feel you.
So what he does on his album, and the reason why it'll never fully speak to anyone is because he's doing something for everyone, and it lends itself to the theory, if you're trying to please everyone, you're really pleasing no one, because he has tracks on all of his albums that are for different audiences.
Yeah,
that's what he does. That's what Khaled does. So you have to take Khaled's albums from that standpoint, in my opinion, where I'm gonna listen. I know there's gonna be shit on here that I don't like, but you know what? Khaled is also gonna have this track with Kiss on it that I'm gonna fuck with. He's also gonna have this Drake track on that I'm probably gonna fuck with. So he does that. There's songs from Khaled albums that I still fuck. The record that had Kiss and Meek on it from, I forgot what that was, but I'm not mad at it. I know what he's doing.
The thing is that when Khaled first started doing these type of albums, or if you want to say the Avengers, getting the Avengers and just putting it on different songs.
Well, you gotta holla at me.
Oh yeah, the Wayne and Fat Joe, right? Fat Joe and a bunch of other people.
Rick Ross.
So the first couple albums, it was new, so we loved it. But then I'm not gonna hold you. There was a period of time where Khaled to me wasn't trying, and he knew he'd get every artist, and he was just like, "Yo, just hop on this track. Just hop on this track." That's what I'm saying. Is
But I feel like that's still going on here.
See, the thing is, this album is a little better than the previous albums. That's what I was trying to say. This album is a little bit better than the previous albums. It feels like he tried a little bit more. He got the whole verse, and then other songs that stand out. Party All the Time, I think, is another one.
I mean, that's fair to say that this is.
I just feel like this one he tried a little bit more, and the quality of the music is a little better, which I'm happy about. I want to see Khaled try because Khaled is one of the ones that can, like we were just talking about, he could go out there and get the people that we don't hear much.
You want.
Yeah, that we don't hear much, and actually get them rapping.
So he's the one who brought Shine back, and at that time, everyone wanted to hear what Shine sounded like fresh out of prison. It was terrible. But Khaled was able to do that. We got Beanie and Jada Kiss on a track together. And he does shit. He's another guy. He gets knocked almost for pop or mainstream appeal. But this is a dude who is of the culture and cares for the culture. Don't get it fucked up.
No, I get it. 100%.
He also just knows how to market. He knows what people want to hear. So,
yeah, but those shots that people take as far as him trying to go pop, those are valid. Those are valid.
Of course.
Okay.
But he doesn't stray away from the roots of it either. He reaches up here, but he's grounded at all times. Because a dude who, who's gonna think to have, like I said, a Beanie and a Kiss reunion. He's also gonna think to have, the biggest record on earth that same year. So this is, I think that was the same album as I'm Taking Over, which was another, like, so I respect the range. Do I like everything? Of course not. But I respect the range.
Can I call you Calistan? Or not?
No, because I'm not a Calistan, but I do respect.
You just respect it.
I understand what
I feel you.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the influx, but I felt like with hip hop in general, I just kind of fell out with it for a little bit. I was not out of tune, but I know because for me, even in the worst eras, whether it was like the Snap Music era or the SoundCloud era, I was still digging. I was still looking for the shit that I liked. I feel like the last year I might not have been able to appreciate it in real time because I lost the interest in even digging for shit. Like, I just, for instance, if I knew what Nas album was coming out, I'll fuck with it. But I didn't have enough love to like go searching or go like I was bored with a lot of shit. Respect to like Benny, who I fuck with regardless. But a lot of the predecessors, like not the predecessors, but the artists who came subsequent that are kind of eating off of that chain, that are getting popularized for it. It was starting to bore me because the content was like it felt low, low quality and rushed. But
question, do you think being a father is also led to that? The whole like not really looking.
Nah,
for stuff?
Because I was a father for at this point the last 7 years, and that never happened prior to that. If anything, it was like when you're a father, you're working full time. You look for your escapes. You look for your sports. So music is one of my escapes, but it was just I was
there was
uninterested.
nothing out there to escape.
And that's the thing is like I don't know. I just became uninterested. I can't even really point as to what it was. Maybe like I think it was having time, and this is a very specific and niche reference, but you understand it. But it's when I listened to the Rome Streets album that I realized I'm just overthinking music. Like I just have to enjoy it for what it is. If I listen to a Rome Streets album, I'm not listening for relatability or melody or anything like that. I'm listening because at this moment I want to hear some fucking gutter street shit that reminds me of a time back, from when I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So that's what that serves. So I've been able to kind of compartmentalize what I like, where I like, without overthinking it, and all kind of making it this all-encompassing thing, and it's enabled me to enjoy the music again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same boat as you. Like we're older, we're not young kids anymore. So like, and I think it's safe to say that the music that's in right now, as far as like the hip hop culture, is drill music. I'm not sure if is it still drill music right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm not looking for that. I'm not checking for that. I don't have the radio on when I'm in my car. No. So like, whenever I experience new music, it's with hip hop. I have to like put intention behind it. Like I know someone's coming out with an album. Okay, let me go look for it on Apple Music, and I'll just go look for that in hip hop. Right. I'm not gonna go to the Lils, whatever, all these other people. We just have a certain type of music that we like and we want to listen to, and yeah. So to each his own. But yo, my guy, so we finally came to the end of this episode. This episode was amazing. I finally got to see you. We finally got to hear from you, get all the thoughts out. Been wanting to do this for a while. I think I remember that you don't want to like plug anything if you have anything to plug. No? Alright, so I did remember that though.
You do.
Okay, so as far as time flies, if you're listening to this on any of the podcast platforms, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, wherever you get it. If you're watching this on YouTube, also hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That'll be a really big help. And if you're on the channel, just drop a comment. I'll definitely go back and forth with you. I'll engage with you. I like to hear new points, different perspectives from different people. And also, if you've been noticing behind me, we got some Time Flies merch. I've been wearing it right now. But for just for you guys, just to show you what I got, I've been talking about the Shia LaBeouf shirt. Mike, do me a favor? Yeah. I was gonna say just hold the other arm. Yeah. Thank you. I've been talking about the Shia LaBeouf shirt that I made. Made it back in the day.
Show them the back too.
Yeah. Pause. So yeah, man, Shia's my favorite actor, and I just took different characters from different movies, and I made kind of like a bootleg '90s kind of shirt, my rendition of it. And yeah, man, I have ideas for different actors as well, but I just start off with Shia, see how it goes. And I'll put the link for that in the description so you can check it out on the website. Support the boy. But Mike, my guy,
Yes,
again,
sir.
appreciate it, my guy. And we'll talk soon.
We
We'll
didn't
definitely
rank
rank what?
albums.
Oh, we're gonna do another episode.
Got it.
Okay, so until next time, we'll check you out on the next episode of Time Flies Podcast. Peace.
Peace.